I'm Daniel Findling with Findling Law and thedivorceguy.com. Adultery is the ultimate betrayal, and it's the cause of the breakdown of many relationships that even end in divorce. It's also a crime in Michigan. Under MCL 750.29, adultery is defined, and this is the Michigan Criminal Code, as sexual relations, intercourse, between two people, one of which who is not your spouse. Now, it's interesting that the statute defines adultery as intercourse, and other sexual acts, which may be as equally offensive, are not a crime in Michigan. The crime is punishable under MCL 750, that's Michigan Compiled Laws, section 750.30, that says adultery is a felony. It's a felony punishable by more than 1 year in jail. This is a serious crime. The statute of limitations, the time that you have to bring the action, is 1 year from the date of the act. However, all is for naught, because in my almost 5 years of practice, there's not been one case of adultery that's been successfully prosecuted in Michigan. In fact, it's one of these laws that are on the books, but doesn't really have a meaning because it's not enforced. So many people call me on a regular basis and ask me about adultery and the impact it may have in a divorce case. And the answer is, in the context of a divorce, there is a remedy. The remedy is as follows. The past relations and conduct of the parties, how an individual acts, if that is a cause for the breakdown of the marriage, if that is the cause, the fact that somebody had an affair, and so many people say the affair was not the result of the breakdown of the marriage relationship. It wasn't the cause of the breakdown of the marriage relationship, it was a result of the breakdown of the marriage relationship. That's not really a good argument, because many people and many marriages survive turmoil. So if there's an affair and that is the triggering event that causes the relationship to end, for someone filing for divorce, it can impact the division of property in Michigan, it can impact an award of alimony in Michigan, and it can impact child custody decisions. And let's talk about how. In Michigan, property is divided equitably. That's fairly. And on our website, we provide a detailed analysis into property division. Now, when we look at property that's been acquired during the course of the marriage and we divide it fairly, a court can take into consideration the fault of the party, an affair, and maybe give more or less property to one party as a result of fault. Same thing is true with alimony. The age, education, length of marriage, and income are very important in calculating alimony, but there are subjective factors as well, such as the prior standard of living and the past relations and conduct of the party. Is one person at fault? If that person's at fault, is it equitable? Is it fair to award that individual alimony, or this much alimony? Maybe the term should be shorter. Maybe there shouldn't be any alimony at all. It's something the court can take into consideration if there is adultery and it's a cause of the breakdown of the marriage. In child custody determinations, it's a little bit more unique. Fault really isn't taken into consideration, the breakdown of the marriage, when awarding custody. But one of the best interest factors, one of the child custody factors, is the moral fitness of the parties. Is an individually morally fit? Now, courts are not allowed to impose their own moral judgment on in a case, right? They can't say, I think adultery is wrong, so I'm not going to grant you custody. But if a child has been exposed to a paramour, a boyfriend, or a girlfriend, the adulterer, that truly can impact the best interests of a child, and can, and in many cases it does, impact an award of custody. So what do you do in these circumstances? Is it a really big deal? The answer is, it's a consideration. It plays a role, that is fault in adultery and in divorce. It doesn't play a major role, but we can't ignore it. So if adultery is a concern in your case, we'd like to speak with you and talk about how we can help you navigate your situation. We've been doing divorce and family law cases for over 20 years. In fact, my father started this practice in 1956. So maybe we've been doing it almost 60 years. Let it be our privilege to help you. We really want the best for you, and we know how to make things right. Thank you.